If your mind breaks every time life gets uncomfortable, you're not free, you're fragile. Let's be honest, the modern world doesn't want you strong. It wants you addicted to comfort, obsessed with likes, trapped in anxiety, because a weak mind is easy to sell to, easy to control. But what if, instead of being shaped by the world, you built a mind so solid, so centered that chaos became background noise? That's what an untouchable mindset is. Not a mind that escapes pain, but one that meets it with silence, sees it for what it is, and transforms it into power. This video isn't for the faint of heart. These 7 lessons won't flatter you. They'll confront you, but if you sit with them, breathe through them, and live them, you'll no longer just survive the storm, you'll become the calm within it. And lesson 7, that one will flip your entire worldview. Stick around. Why this matters. People think strength is loud, that it looks like shouting, flexing, dominating. But real power? It's quiet. It's when your emotions scream, but your mind stays still. An untouchable mindset doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means pain doesn't define your next move. You stop being controlled by every insult, every fear, every urge for validation. Think of it like this. A candle flickers in the wind, but a mountain doesn't move. Most people live like candles, reacting, flinching, breaking. This video is about becoming the mountain. These 7 lessons will challenge your comfort, kill your excuses, and force you to level up. Because once you build an untouchable mind, no storm can shake you. Lesson 1, stop worshiping comfort. We live in a world that idolizes comfort. Everywhere you look, people are running from discomfort like it's a disease. We chase fast food instead of nourishing meals. We scroll endlessly for easy dopamine instead of sitting with stillness. We escape into entertainment instead of facing our thoughts. It's a constant loop of seeking what feels good in the moment, even if it weakens us in the long run. But here's the truth most people avoid. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Nothing meaningful, nothing powerful is built in the comfort zone. Your muscles don't grow unless they're stretched. Your mind doesn't evolve unless it's challenged. And your spirit doesn't strengthen unless it's tested. Even the Buddha, a prince surrounded by luxury, walked away from the palace, not because he lacked anything material, but because he understood something deeper. Luxury dulls the mind. Excess comfort softens your will. It numbs your hunger. It makes you forget who you are beneath the fluff. The strongest people you know, they didn't get there by avoiding pain. They got there by learning how to sit in it and breathe. Growth begins the moment you stop running and start facing discomfort head on. Whether it's waking up early, sitting in silence, fasting, or doing what scares you, you train yourself to become mentally untouchable. Start simple. Take cold showers. Practice solitude. Say no to things that give you easy pleasure but long-term weakness. Each time you choose discomfort, you're not suffering, you're sculpting. You're carving a version of yourself that's no longer a slave to mood or environment. If you stop chasing comfort, something incredible happens. You start discovering who you really are. Not the version that seeks ease, but the version built for resilience, discipline, and greatness. Lesson 2, don't react, transmute. Most people live on autopilot. Someone says something offensive and they explode. Life throws a curveball and they collapse. It's become normal to let the outside world control your inside world. The truth is, the more you react, the more you give away your power. Every time you react without thought, you reinforce weakness instead of strength. The key to mental freedom isn't avoiding the pain. It's learning to control how you respond to it. Think about this. Fire can burn you or it can fuel you. The difference between these two outcomes is how you choose to process the fire. This is the difference between reacting and transmuting. Reacting is automatic. It's emotional vomiting, a knee-jerk response to external stimuli. But transmutation, that's the art of turning pain, frustration, or anger into something constructive. The strongest minds don't run away from tough emotions. Instead, they pause, reflect, and use those emotions to sharpen their focus. In many Buddhist teachings, this process is called Vedana. It's the moment when a strong emotion arises within you, and instead of reacting immediately, you sit with it. You observe it. You don't resist it. You don't run away. Instead, you allow it to exist within you, and then consciously choose how to respond. This practice builds an unshakable foundation of inner peace, no matter what's happening around you. When you master this, you begin to see emotions not as obstacles, but as tools for growth. Imagine being able to turn anger into discipline, sadness into strength, rejection into redirection. That's the power of transmutation. You're not denying the feeling. You're not letting it control you. Instead, you take that emotion, hold it, understand it, and transform it into something that empowers you. Here's your practice. The next time someone insults you, don't lash out. Pause, breathe. Don't react impulsively. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? That space between the stimulus and your response is where real power lies. It's in that stillness that transformation happens. When you stop reacting and start transmuting, you stop being a puppet to your emotions. You become the one holding the strings. Transmutation doesn't just make you calm, it makes you dangerously focused, and that focus is what makes you untouchable. Lesson 3, starve the ego, feed the identity. The ego is the false self that thrives on validation, approval, and external recognition. It's the voice in your head that tells you who you should be, what you should have, and how you should look. But here's the thing, the ego thrives on insecurity. It feeds off your need for external validation, the constant desire to prove yourself, and the relentless chase for approval from others. Every time you seek to impress, every time you compare yourself to others, you're only strengthening the ego. But the ego doesn't help you grow. It keeps you small. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of needing more. More attention, more status, more likes, more followers. It's a constant craving, and the more you feed it, the emptier you feel. You can never satisfy the ego. It's like trying to fill a bottomless pit. Now let's talk about identity. Identity is different from ego. Your true identity is based on your values, your beliefs, your character, and your purpose. It's who you are when you strip away all the masks, all the comparisons, and all the external noise. Identity is grounded, stable, and real. The ego is fragile, always changing and dependent on external circumstances. If you want to build an untouchable mindset, you need to start starving the ego and feeding your true identity. This means shifting your focus from seeking external validation to understanding and developing your internal values. It's about living with purpose, not to impress others, but to be true to who you really are. Here's the practice. Next time you catch yourself seeking approval or comparing yourself to someone else, stop. Instead of feeding that need for validation, ask yourself, what do I truly value? What does my true self want? What's my real purpose? This will guide you away from the ego's grasp and towards your authentic self. When you stop feeding the ego, you start living on your own terms. You become immune to the judgments and opinions of others. You stop needing external validation because your identity comes from within. And that's where your true power lies. Lesson 4, train in the dark. There's a saying in martial arts, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your training. The truth is, most of your growth will never be seen by the world. It will happen in the quiet, unseen moments when no one is watching. It will happen in the darkness. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification, and outward success. Social media shows only the polished highlights, the victories, the glamorous moments, the external rewards. But the greatest strength, the kind that makes you untouchable, isn't forged in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. It's made during the countless hours when you're alone, when no one is applauding, when the only person pushing you is yourself. This is the darkness that shapes your character. This is the time when you're training your mind, your discipline, your resilience without external validation. Think of it as the behind the scenes of your personal growth. When no one is around to witness your effort, that's when the real transformation happens. That's when you build the mental fortitude that will carry you through the toughest situations. In Buddhism, this idea is reflected in the practice of solitary retreat, periods of intense self-reflection and meditation, often away from society and the distractions of everyday life. These retreats are not meant for external recognition. They're about building inner strength. The practice isn't glamorous, it's messy, challenging, and sometimes uncomfortable. But this is where the deepest self-mastery occurs. It's where the mind learns to sit still and find peace, even in the most chaotic environments. You've probably heard the phrase, hard times build strong people. But what you don't hear enough is this. You have to train for those hard times before they come. If you wait for the storm to hit to start preparing, it's too late. The mental strength you need when life gets tough isn't something you can just summon in a crisis. It's something you've cultivated in the quiet, in the dark. Here's the catch. We live in a world that makes comfort and convenience easy. It's tempting to stay in the light, in the warm, familiar places where everything feels safe. But the light doesn't teach you resilience. The light doesn't show you your weaknesses. The light doesn't force you to evolve. Training in the dark means choosing discomfort. It's about waking up earlier than everyone else to get your mind and body right before the world starts demanding from you. It's about doing the work when no one's watching. It's about facing your fears and flaws head on when there's no audience to cheer you on. And it's about making peace with the fact that in those moments, you may not get immediate feedback or external acknowledgement. But what you gain in the dark and what you shape in those moments will determine your future. So how do you start? Here are some practices to incorporate into your life. Start your day early. The world still sleeps, and you get to carve out this time for yourself. Whether it's for meditation, exercise, or simply focusing on personal growth, the early hours are when you can train your mind and body without distractions. Challenge yourself in solitude. Step away from the noise of social media, the distractions of entertainment, and the constant pull of others' expectations. Spend time alone. Use this solitude to reflect, meditate, or work on your craft without any need for approval or external validation. Embrace the struggle. Every moment of discomfort, whether physical or emotional, is an opportunity to train. Don't run from it. Instead, lean into it. Push through moments of doubt, fatigue, or frustration. The more you embrace the struggle, the stronger you become. Work without recognition. This is the most powerful form of training. It's about doing things that no one else sees. When you work for the sake of growth and self-mastery, not for praise, you develop a level of discipline and inner peace that is untouchable by external forces. When you train in the dark, you're not just building strength, you're building character. You're becoming someone who can withstand any storm, face any challenge, and remain calm amidst chaos. In the end, it's not the lights that define your success. It's what you do when the world is dark, when no one is watching, because it's in the darkness that the untouchable mindset is born. Lesson 5, detach from the matrix. There's a trap that most people fall into. It's the invisible web that surrounds us, the pull of societal expectations, media narratives, and cultural conditioning. This web is so deeply woven into our daily lives that we rarely even notice it. It's like being stuck in a simulation, A matrix where everything is designed to keep you distracted, powerless, and reactive. The Matrix is not some futuristic sci-fi fantasy. It's the world we live in today, a world filled with constant noise, endless distractions, and an endless list of things we're told we should want, should care about, and should be doing. It's the constant pressure to conform, to fit in, to chase success as defined by society, rather than discovering what true success means for you. But here's the hard truth. The Matrix is a lie. It's a system designed to keep you disconnected from your true self, from your purpose, from your power. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle for money, status, and approval, thinking these things will bring you happiness. But what you don't realize is that in chasing these external markers of success, you're actually feeding the very system that keeps you small. The first step to escaping the Matrix is recognizing that you're in it. It's waking up from the hypnotic trance of consumerism, social media, and other distractions that keep you tethered to a life of superficiality. To break free, you need to start questioning everything you've been told about success, happiness, relationships, and even what you're capable of. The world tells you that happiness is found in possessions, status, and recognition. But in reality, true peace and freedom are found in detachment. Detachment doesn't mean rejecting the world. It means choosing not to be controlled by it. It's about disconnecting your sense of self from external forces that have no real power over you. The Matrix thrives on your attachment to things that are temporary. It feeds on your need for approval, your desire for comfort, and your fear of missing out. But when you detach, you take away the Matrix's power. You stop chasing things that don't matter and start focusing on the things that truly define you: your values, your beliefs, your purpose, and your inner peace. It's about finding freedom from the noise and distractions of the world so that you can hear your true self and align with it. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of detachment in order to reach enlightenment. The Buddha taught that attachment to material possessions, desires, and even relationships leads to suffering. When you let go of these attachments, you free yourself from the constant cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. This doesn't mean becoming a hermit or withdrawing from society entirely. It means developing the ability to live in the world without being ruled by it. How do you begin detaching from the Matrix? Start by cutting out the distractions. Reduce your consumption of media, especially social media, which bombards you with endless comparisons and unrealistic expectations. Stop chasing trends, fads, or possessions that promise happiness, but deliver only emptiness. Focus instead on what truly nurtures your mind, body, and soul. Invest in relationships that bring value and peace, rather than those that drain you or encourage competition. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. Meditation can help you develop awareness of your thoughts and emotions, so you can observe them without getting swept away by them. This practice helps you recognize when you're falling into the trap of the Matrix, when you start attaching your sense of worth to things outside yourself. Detach from the need for external validation. Don't let the opinions of others shape your self-image. The Matrix wants you to seek approval from everyone around you, but true power comes when you stop seeking validation and start validating yourself. Learn to be content with who you are, regardless of how the world perceives you. Remember that the Matrix isn't just an external force, it's also inside you. The beliefs, insecurities, and doubts you carry can trap you just as much as any societal system. By practicing self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-reliance, you can start to dismantle the internal Matrix as well. Detachment is the key to true freedom. When you stop being ruled by external expectations and distractions, you reclaim your power. You stop being a puppet to society's demands and start living on your own terms. You become immune to the chaos around you because your center is no longer tied to the fluctuations of the external world. When you detach from the Matrix, You stop being a cog in the machine. You become the one who defines your own reality. And that's how you build an untouchable mindset. Lesson 6. Kill the victim voice. Everyone has a voice inside their head, but there's one voice that can destroy you if you let it. The victim voice. This voice feeds on your pain, your past mistakes, and your insecurities. It tells you that you're powerless, that life isn't fair, and that you're destined to suffer forever. It thrives on the belief that you are the product of your circumstances, not the creator of your destiny. This victim voice is sneaky. It doesn't always come in the form of loud, angry rants. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, a whisper of doubt, a feeling of helplessness, a why me mentality that stops you from taking action. It's the part of you that believes you have no control over your situation. It's the part of you that wants to blame the world, your upbringing, or your past for where you are right now. But here's the brutal truth. The victim voice is a lie. It's a narrative you've been taught to believe. It's an illusion that keeps you stuck in a loop of powerlessness. The truth is that no matter what has happened to you in the past, no matter how tough your circumstances may seem right now, you have the power to change your life. But you can only do that if you stop listening to the victim voice and start taking full responsibility for your life. Taking responsibility is one of the most powerful choices you can make. When you stop blaming others, when you stop pointing fingers, when you stop making excuses, that's when your true power is unlocked. Because the moment you claim full responsibility for your life, you stop being a victim and you become the creator of your own reality. The victim mindset makes you focus on what's been taken from you. It makes you dwell on your past, your failures, and your losses. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of pain and resentment because the victim can never move forward. They are always looking back, always focused on the hurt, always living in the past. But the untouchable mindset, the one you're building, is not focused on the past. It's focused on the present and the future. It's about taking the lessons from your struggles, not letting them define you, and using them as fuel to move forward. The untouchable person doesn't let life's challenges break them. They don't let hardships dictate their sense of self-worth. Instead, they use those challenges as stepping stones to their next level of growth. Think about the most resilient people you know. What's the difference between them and someone who constantly plays the victim? It's their perspective. Resilient people don't ignore pain or pretend it doesn't exist. They simply choose to see it differently. They choose to see pain as a teacher, not a sentence. They choose to see obstacles as opportunities, not roadblocks. When you kill the victim voice, you stop identifying with your pain. You stop letting your past determine your future. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" you start saying, What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? This mindset shift is what allows you to rise above your circumstances. It's not about pretending that life is easy. It's not about denying that you've been through hardships or difficult experiences. It's about choosing not to let those experiences define you. It's about understanding that the worst thing that happened to you is not who you are. It's just a chapter in your story, not the entire book. Now let's talk about how to kill the victim voice in your own life. First, start by becoming aware of it. Notice when it shows up, when you feel helpless, when you start blaming others, when you fall into a poor me mentality. Awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle. Every time you catch yourself thinking in victim terms, immediately challenge that thought. Ask yourself, what's the empowering thought here? What can I do right now to take control of this situation? The more you practice this, the stronger your mindset becomes. Another powerful way to kill the victim voice is by taking immediate action. The victim loves to stay stuck in inaction. It feeds off your fear, your doubts, and your procrastination. But when you make the decision to take action, no matter how small, you start to shift the energy. Action is the antidote to victimhood. It reminds you that you have the ability to change your circumstances, no matter how difficult they may seem. Start by setting small goals every day and accomplishing them. These can be as simple as getting up earlier, reading for 10 minutes, exercising for 20 minutes, or making that difficult phone call you've been avoiding. The more you take action, the more you'll prove to yourself that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. Change the narrative. Stop saying things like, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never make it." These are all statements of the victim. Instead, start saying, "I'm capable, I am in control, I'm stronger than my circumstances." Your words shape your reality, and when you choose empowering language, you start to reinforce your untouchable mindset. The victim voice is one of the most dangerous enemies of your untouchable mindset. But when you learn to kill it, you free yourself from the chains of self-doubt, fear, and resentment. You stop being a prisoner of your past, and you start living with the freedom to create your future. And that is the essence of an untouchable mindset. The strength to rise above anything life throws at you, and to use it as fuel for your evolution. Lesson 7. Serve something greater. The final piece of building an untouchable mindset is perhaps the most powerful and paradoxical. Serve something greater than yourself. This may sound counterintuitive at first. After all, in a world that constantly pushes self-promotion and individual success, the idea of selflessly serving something beyond your personal gain might seem like a contradiction. But this is exactly where true freedom and strength are found. Here's the thing. The ego wants you to believe that life is all about you. It's about chasing your desires, acquiring more, achieving more, and becoming the best version of yourself. The ego loves this narrative because it keeps you focused on what's superficial, your status, your appearance, your possessions. The more you chase these external markers of success, the more the ego feeds off of them. It keeps you in a perpetual cycle of seeking validation and never feeling truly satisfied. But serving something greater than yourself doesn't feed the ego. It silences it. When you commit yourself to a cause, a mission, or a purpose that transcends your individual needs, something miraculous happens. You begin to detach from the constant pull of the ego. You stop seeing the world as a place where you're trying to compete for resources, recognition, and approval. Instead, you see yourself as part of something larger, something that exists beyond the individual self. In Buddhism, this concept is closely aligned with the idea of compassionate service. The Buddha taught that true liberation comes not from focusing on your own desires and accumulation, but from alleviating the suffering of others. The path to inner peace is through selflessness, through helping others achieve happiness and freedom. This doesn't mean giving up your own needs or neglecting your own well-being. It means recognizing that your growth is intertwined with the growth of those around you. When you serve something greater, you step out of the narrow focus on self and enter into a broader, more connected perspective. The best part? Serving something greater doesn't just benefit others, it benefits you too. Serving others brings you a sense of fulfillment and purpose that cannot be achieved through selfish pursuits. It aligns you with a deeper meaning in life, one that is unshaken by external circumstances. Here's how you can start. 1. Identify a cause larger than yourself. This could be anything from helping your community, contributing to environmental sustainability, supporting social justice movements, or even helping others grow and evolve through your own skills or experiences. It's not about what others expect from you. It's about finding something that stirs your heart, that resonates with your deeper sense of purpose. This will give you a sense of direction and fulfillment that no personal achievement can match. When you live for something beyond your own success, you tap into a wellspring of motivation and resilience. 2. Make your work meaningful. Whether you're working in a corporate job, running a business, or pursuing any other kind of endeavor, Shift your focus to how your work can serve others. Look at how what you do can add value to the lives of those around you. This shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, the work you do isn't just about you and your paycheck. It's about making a positive impact. When your daily actions are aligned with a higher purpose, it no longer feels like a grind. You have a deeper connection to your work, and your sense of fulfillment comes not from what you gain, but from what you give. 3. Practice selflessness. Start small. Engage in random acts of kindness. Volunteer your time. Offer your help without expecting anything in return. You don't need to do grand, life-changing acts to serve something greater. Even the smallest gesture, when done with pure intentions, can make a significant impact. The key is in the attitude of service. When you help others without expecting recognition or reward, you free yourself from the need for approval and validation. You begin to live with integrity, guided by the principle that your life is about contributing, not consuming. 4. Live with a higher vision. Ask yourself, what do I want my legacy to be? When you serve something greater, you start to think beyond your lifetime. You think about the impact you want to leave behind, the ways in which you want to inspire and influence future generations. It's about living for the bigger picture, not just for short-term goals. Purpose gives you direction, and that direction will help you weather any storm. When you align yourself with a cause greater than your individual desires, you find yourself stronger, more grounded, and immune to the distractions that keep others stuck. 5. Embrace humility. Serving something greater requires humility, the ability to step aside from the ego's constant need for attention and recognition. Humility doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It means understanding that there is a vast world out there full of challenges, people, and causes that need attention and help. When you stop trying to prove your worth and instead focus on what you can offer, you unlock a deeper sense of satisfaction and meaning. The paradox of selflessness. The paradox of serving something greater is this: the more you give, the more you receive. The more you let go of your selfish desires and focus on the needs of others, the more you fill your life with purpose, joy, and fulfillment. Your focus shifts from the constant pursuit of happiness to the quiet satisfaction that comes from living a life of service and contribution. When you serve something greater, you stop being affected by external forces. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others or the chaos of the world. You have a deep-rooted sense of purpose that transcends the temporary highs and lows of life. And in this sense of purpose, you become truly untouchable. Serving something greater than yourself is not just about others. It's about your own evolution, your own growth into a person who is immune to negativity, immune to ego, immune to the distractions and traps that hold others back. When you serve, you unlock your truest potential, and in that space, you are untouchable. You've just unlocked the keys to building an untouchable mindset. But here's the most important thing to remember. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. The real work begins when you start living these lessons, day in and day out. The world will continue to throw challenges your way, but you now have the tools to face them head-on, with strength, clarity, and an unwavering sense of purpose. Remember, an untouchable mindset isn't something you achieve once and forget. It's a practice, a journey. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your resilience, sharpen your focus, and build a life that no one and nothing can break. So let me ask you, what's one action you're going to take today to become untouchable? Drop it in the comments below. Let's create a community of like-minded people who are committed to evolving and growing together. If you found value in this video, make sure to hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear these lessons. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on the wisdom that will help you transform your mind, your life, and your future. Until next time, keep walking the path of strength, embrace discomfort, and become the person who's untouchable in every sense of the word. Stay untouchable.